What drew you to the field of probation?
It all comes down to just my experience with the justice system. I have a lot of, loved ones, family members, friends that have been in the justice system as clients, as defendants. And a common theme that I was able to see in their success of moving forward from their incidents was really positive intervention. People that worked within the justice system that really invested and poured into them, and I really admired that and really thought about, because to be honest with you, growing up as an adolescent, I was very cynical about the justice system and people that worked in it, and seeing how it impacted some of the loved ones in my life, people that I care about, and it really helping them to live and move forward, with a second chance. It was something that brought me to the field. Yeah.
Mhm. So how has your role changed since you started your career as a probation officer?
To be honest with you, my first exposure to probation was very different. Different population, of course, but just wasn't as much work done that was reflective of evidence-based practice. As to work here, it's been a blessing to be able to, to walk clients downstairs to the second floor to have them meet with providers, prior to the CRC being closed, and even now still being able to give them contacts locally. That's a couple blocks away, as opposed to in the beginning of my career where resources were very few and thin. So that's really what it is really the abundance of resources and really the way that we work with folks, and more of opportunities to address barriers and give chances for folks to get on the right track.
So tell me about your most memorable experience with the client.
I'll list two. One of them is more specific. One of them was actually I want to say one of them was actually in your courtroom. It was at the end of a dispositional continuance. This gentleman had his hearing pending dismissal, right? And this was a individual I worked with a little bit over a year. I started supervising him, and he had a really hard time abstaining in the beginning. And as we met on a regular basis, started to point out just positive patterns that have helped him to slowly make changes in his life and slowly make progress. And really in communicating with his counselor at DESC and seeing and hearing about the little progress he's made. And eventually he did finish treatment substantially, at least. So we were at the dismissal hearing, and it was dismissed, and he kind of surprised me. This gentleman walked over, not only like grabbed my hand, but kind of gave me a half hug, which kind of threw me off. Again, I come from a jurisdiction where we didn't really do that. There wasn't really contact with clients in that way. And in the courtroom, and just seeing the expression of everybody in the back, that was kind of cool. The second example, really quickly, is just during a community outreach, the community outreach program that we did down in Rainer Center over by Seward Park. It was in a neighborhood that I kind of grew up in the south end of Seattle, and I was able to kind of interpret for quite a bit of folks in my native language that passed through there, and I thought that was pretty neat. And there was one gentleman, he wasn't my specific client, but there was a gentleman that was a walk-in, and there was an attorney that was present to help with all sorts of matters, right? And this gentleman had a felony matter. It wasn't one of ours, it was a King County felony matter. Didn't really speak English well, so I was like, hey, I'll try my best. I'll walk over with you and try to translate for you, and really try to get him to at least calendar something, right? Or address, I think he had an outstanding warrant, to address that and get some numbers, and yeah, to help him that way. And I thought that was unique. Those are opportunities I never imagined that I'd have until I kind of came back to Seattle.